What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today we have some pretty big news on the Fantastic Four. If you have been following the news about the Fantastic Four project coming to the MCU, hopefully within a couple of years, you know that Marvel Studios recently lost its director for the Fantastic Four film, John Watts. John Watts, of course, directed the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy, in which at the end we got Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. However, a lot came with directing Spider-Man No Way Home, and John Watts said that he just kind of wanted to take a break from directing superhero films. However, it was just announced that he will be directing the Skeleton Crew, which is coming from Star Wars, so he's not taking too much of a break, but they are two very different franchises. But now the hunt for a new director is on, and we have a little bit of an update about that today. Plus, if we are getting the Fantastic Four, of course everybody wants to know who the villain could be. Now, Kang the Conqueror is coming in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and there is a possibility that the Fantastic Four could debut in that movie as well. But let's not forget about Doctor Doom, because some rumors state that he might be coming to the MCU sooner than we think. And given some upcoming projects that are coming to the MCU, I actually think Doctor Doom is going to play a much more prominent role overall than we were actually expecting. But don't worry, I'm going to cover everything you need to know in this video, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things relating to the MCU. Alright, let's start off with Marvel's search for their new director for the Fantastic Four movie, which is actually pretty good news. I love John Watts. I think he did amazing with the Homecoming trilogy, and I think Spider-Man No Way Home was fantastic, but it looks like Marvel Studios is searching for some pretty big guns here, just like they got Sam Raimi for Multiverse of Madness. And remember the power of Marvel. They did the Eternals, which had an insane cast. I don't think any director is off the table for them. And according to Justin Kroll, who is a senior reporter at Deadline, Marvel has a very long list of candidates. He posted to Twitter last night saying, "Some late night Fantastic Four directing search updates. While it's easily Marvel's top ODA, one source says don't expect it to be filled anytime soon, as they are not even close to cutting down the long list of candidates. I'd be shocked if a choice is made before Labor Day." Now, Labor Day is September 5th, so that's pretty far out there. But let's continue talking about what he said on Twitter. He says, "Two, while no names have surfaced, multiple sources say while it's a large mix of candidates, Feige and company are taking a lot of shots at some big names. One source close to process says Kevin doesn't want to oversee the entire shoot, and after not having to worry about that with Sam Raimi, he is very game to the same outcome with this shoot." Which is kind of cool, because that basically means that Kevin Feige doesn't want to oversee every single little minuscule thing about the project, but he is putting faith in the directors that he is hiring. Now, this can be good, but this also can be bad depending on how you look at it. Kevin Feige is the founder of the MCU. He's the brains behind it. Without him, there wouldn't be an MCU, and Kevin Feige is largely responsible for the success that it's had. And part of that is him overseeing the projects. Now, that's not going to change. Kevin Feige will always have final say with whatever he wants from a movie when he sees it, or hears about it, or reads the script. So that's why I'm not too worried about this, because Kevin Feige will ultimately have final say, but him letting the directors have some freedom could be a very good thing. After all, that's how we got Guardians of the Galaxy. They brought in James Gunn to direct Guardians and let him do his thing, and we got an amazing franchise from it. Warner Bros. Also did that with James Gunn for Peacemaker, and it was amazing as well. So great things can come out of studios letting directors do their thing, and according to this report, that's what Kevin Feige is looking to do: hire a very big name director and let him or her do their thing, which would be fantastic news, pun intended. Now, sadly, we've all been waiting for some casting information, and spoiler alert for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we did get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, and I'm really hoping he's going to play the main MCU Mr. Fantastic. But since we probably aren't going to get director info until Labor Day, that means we probably aren't going to be getting any casting info. Now, it doesn't mean that rumors can't come out or some major trade companies can't report on casting, but an official announcement from Marvel Studios is probably far away. However, like I said, we do have a little bit of news about Doom in the MCU. Now, many people might know the insider account on Twitter, My Time to Shine Hello. She has been very accurate with a lot of things that that she's put out there. Very accurate. So she's considered to be a reliable source. And yesterday somebody tweeted at her asking how soon till Doom, in which she replied, closer than you think. Now some people are saying that Phase 4 has kind of been off to a slow start and that things aren't really connecting that much yet, but I think a lot of that is about to change. I think a lot is about to go down in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is where Kang the Conqueror is coming in, and I believe the Fantastic Four still could be appearing in that movie. There were a lot of rumors going around about that for a while. People were reporting that it was going to happen, but then they kind of changed their mind and said they might have heard differently. We'll have to wait and see on that, although it does make sense considering that Ant-Man 3 is going to focus on the quantum realm. And Kang, who originally is Nathaniel Richards, is a descendant of Reed Richards, or depending on the comic storyline you follow, could also be a descendant of Dr. Doom himself. Now, Doom coming sooner than we think actually doesn't strike me as that odd, because he might even be connected to Wakanda Forever. At the end of the first Black Panther film, T'Challa said that they're going to make their resources available to the world, with of course their biggest resource being vibranium. And if we know good old Victor Von Doom, he's gonna want some of that vibranium. And we do know that Namor is going to be in Wakanda Forever, and that he'll be going up against Wakanda. However, this kind of might be like a Batman vs Superman situation, where they fight each other, but then ultimately there's a bigger villain that they have to band together to fight. Now, Wakanda and Atlantis in the comics don't like each other, that's known. So it could just play out as an all-out war. However, Namor still is a hero in the comics and will most likely be a hero in the MCU. After all, he is a part of the Illuminati in the comics. If there was going to be a greater villain of this movie, I would really hope that they would tease Dr. Doom. And that could actually be the start of setting up the Fantastic Four. Plus, not to mention, Dr. Doom has some major connections to Wanda and Wundagore Mountain, which we just saw in Multiverse of Madness. Doom is also very connected to Doctor Strange as well. In fact, one of the storylines that I would absolutely love to see in the MCU is Doom and Doctor Strange going to the Hell Dimension to try and defeat Mephisto to get Dr. Doom's mother back. So, many connections here. Plus, that insider account, My Time to Shine Hello, she did say that a Scarlet Witch solo project is indeed in the works, which has been rumored for a while now. Now, one last thing about the Fantastic Four, there is another account, Great Phase, that has been supposedly leaking a bunch of stuff recently. And this account says that Feige is definitely game to make Fantastic Four in a very Star Trek-inspired way. This is among the most important franchises he's ever done. Now, I don't really know if we can trust this account or not, so take it with a grain of salt. But one thing that I most surely know is that this project is indeed very important to Kevin Feige. It's Marvel's first family. So Kevin Feige is going to do everything he can to make this an extremely great movie. And if it turns out somewhat like Star Trek, giving us some of those Star Trek vibes from 2009, I'm definitely okay with that. After all, Reed Richards is the smartest man alive, and we got a glimpse of his technology in Multiverse of Madness, how he teleported into the room. I think that vibe would fit quite well. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments down below, and let me know when you would like to see Dr. Doom debut. What project do you think would fit his debut the best? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest things in the MCU. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.